Red Dirt RPG is proud to highlight the brand new T-Shirt of the Month Club from the Kobold Lounge.
Every month, artists from the lounge submit original designs. Their community votes, and the top 3 become limited edition shirts that are available only that month.
When you join the club, you choose your favorite shirt and have it delivered to your door, or pick it up at the lounge for a lower price. And one of the best parts? The local artists keep the rights to their work and earn royalties on every shirt sold.
Not into subscriptions? No problem. You can also buy a single shirt with no monthly commitment required. The newest lineup is open now and closes on the 1st of next month. Check out the current designs and order now at theoldkoboldpub.co.
So support indie artists, support your local gaming community, and roll a nat 20 on your t-shirt vibe every time. Join the Kobold Lounge's T-Shirt of the Month Club at theoldkoboldpub.co. That's theoldkoboldpub.co.
Support for the Red Dirt D&D podcast comes from Home Creations, Oklahoma City builders providing homes in the OKC metro for over 40 years. Offering new homes with wood-like tile, LED lighting, and smart thermostats. Locations and features at homecreations.com.
Welcome to Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross, and I play Elias Stone, a human cleric.
I'm Connor Shenold. I play Sable, a half-elf rogue.
I'm Johnny Payne, and I play August E. Graymore, a human fighter.
I'm Carrie Hester, and I play Moxie, a tiefling bard.
And I'm Brooke Bullock, your DM. Please join us as we explore the curse of the Clockwork City. As a fire is on the verge of being out of control in the kitchen, we see some of our table guests that have just sat down, and the Siren Song kind of look with a little bit of concern toward the flame and flicker of shadows from the kitchen.
Oh, don't worry about it. This happens all the time.
Moxie just sighs heavily.
The bigger the fire, the better the meal.
Are they allowed to have a kobold in
He's
the
not
kitchen?
a kobold, he's a dwarf disguised as a kobold, and she walks off to the kitchen.
There's a lot of stuff that's not allowed, but still happens.
And so Yuri, the priestess from Nagahe, says, I see. And she's very reserved. She's slipped in basically without others noticing too much. She didn't engage with anybody too much, but she came and she sat down. And you go to the kitchen, there's some clattering and banging of a couple pans and stuff. Maybe this steam-powered fire extinguisher that we've seen in the past.
He's already used it.
Yeah, he did use a fire extinguisher in a previous episode.
That's right. So maybe that comes into play.
I feel like that wouldn't be hard in a steampunk world, just pressurized.
Exactly. So, and things calm down. A little kobold head picks up, sorry, all good.
You're doing a great job, Kobe.
Thank you.
And I'd say, hey, bud, stay in here and, watch the stove.
Okay.
Make sure it doesn't get set on fire, but I think we'll be okay with what we already have out on the table.
Okay.
Okay, you stay here, or if you want to, you can go down to your room, but I need you to stay out of the dining room so we can have a grown-up meeting.
And he does the kobold equivalent of raising an eyebrow ridge and says, dwarf?
No, I think that would really just confuse everybody.
Okay.
But if you want to do it in your room for practice, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay.
And as he kind of starts to walk down the hall, wait!
Yeah.
You aren't having a little game night with your friends, right? I know it's Wednesday, but if you are, go somewhere else.
Yeah, no, we can.
Okay, no kobolds.
3 days.
Okay.
And he wanders off and you kind of hear him mumbling, I'm a dwarf, I'm a dwarf, I'm a dwarf.
It's better than I hope. And then go back to the dining room and sorry folks, the omelet bar has been canceled, but we have some lovely charcuterie laid out for you. And I promise that Kobe's sanitation prestidigitation spell is always in effect. Also, he's not a kobold.
I've always found the kobold peoples to be, surprisingly civilized, interesting even. I mean, sure, they have those habits and the thing with the tongue and stuff, but, and then that extra eyelid is weird. But for the most part, once you get to know them, they're pretty well behaved.
Well, I agree, Granny. In fact, I actually think
It misses Morningstar.
Mrs. Morningstar.
Yes.
I agree, Mrs.
She
Morningstar.
glares at Sable.
I gotta say, I think that the kobolds have gotten a bad rap in our society, and a lot of people prejudge them and think of them always as dirty just because they live in sewers. I mean, that's not a reason to always think that all the kobolds are.
Honestly, if you think about it, if they're living in sewers, they're gonna have the best sanitation skills known. You know
Right.
what I mean?
And I've come across a lot of kobolds, and I think many of them are good, and then maybe in our society we should start treating them a little bit better.
They hardly even smell.
Well, and as you know, Elias, says Dr. Stonecipher, there are very necessary bacteria and stuff that our bodies need that come from. And then she realizes that she's at the table with people that aren't of the medical profession. She says, maybe that's a topic for
I
another
think so,
time.
yeah. We usually talk about that on our lunch, not on
Yes,
theirs.
yes.
I think we're here to discuss things other than kobolds.
Right.
Moxie goes to the front of the room where there is just a dangling piece of string with a circle on the end, and she reaches up and she holds onto that circle and she pulls the string down and a big map appears.
Some type of bardic extra-dimensional space presentation
curtain.
board. Oh, it's just a curtain.
Basically, it's a curtain with a map on it.
Okay.
You all might be wondering why you're here. Well, each of you possess some very specific and specialized information inside your brains.
And my leg.
You got a brain in your leg?
No, it's where the information is, I assume. We're talking about my leg.
You're also very smart. You could
Yes.
have information in your brain.
He looks over at August.
It's in his leg.
And so here's the list of things that I'm going to tell them. 1, I'm going to explain about the dwarf feelings of being oppressed, and that's what made them angry. 2, the dwarfs teamed up with this spider goddess offering power to them so that they could have a place in society.
What is her name?
Varanyx.
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 Number 3, one Mr. Zaylen Pierce got wind of this plan somehow and started working with them. Number 4, he then found a separate, worse somehow, spider goddess to invite to the party. Zaylen Pierce currently, 5, has a plan to open a gate that would let that super scary spider god through it, which would destroy the town and maybe even farther than that. 6, the shiver crisis, if you want to use that word, in the city has been, I hate to say it, fabricated by the capitalists. The 1% have created the shiver epidemic amongst the poor so that they can harvest their souls for ether. Then he's going to have to congregate all of the people that are part of his plan on the Haunted Isles to open the door. These people are people and or automatons who have part of the shiver harvested souls in, on, or around them,
We'll call it 7A.
which includes all of the recipients of Dr. Stonecipher's special ether prosthetics.
Now you don't have any. There's no reason.
You're
done
not to
these
blame.
things.
To be clear, you're not to blame. You're just doing science. You didn't know that there were children's souls trapped inside the prosthetics. I'm assuming.
That doesn't. And she's beginning to think and ponder. She reaches over, she grabs the equivalent of a napkin and piece of charcoal pen, starts making some notations right there on the table.
Zaylen Pierce needs X amount of souls. I don't know how many, but he needs them all, and he's gonna put them through the gate, and then the spider's gonna come through, and then the boiler's gonna blow a gasket.
Now, just to make sure that we don't know when or how many he needs, but we know he's near, and it's soon. Unfortunately, that's all we really know.
So we have brought you together, hoping that you could give us any information that you might have regarding Zaylen Pierce, spider goddesses, maybe some kind of soul prosthetic situation, maybe the people have prosthetics that will be invited, maybe other kinds of information regarding plane shifting, gates, soul sacrifices, etc. Because some people, and she kind of looks sideways at Logan Mitchell, may not live to see the other side of this great sacrifice.
So I just gonna twist my leg off and then toss it into the pit?
I don't think so.
We think the actual ceremony is life or death. So taking your soul as well as the soul that is currently living inside your leg.
I'm currently using mine. I really don't.
Yes, I understand that. Zaylen Pierce does not seem to care.
Remember when I said this meeting's all about you, bud?
Oh, yep.
Yep, well, you're gonna die if we don't come up with a plan, and your boss is the one who's gonna kill ya.
He looks over at August.
You realize, once again, this is all your fault. I mean, I was perfectly fine, just minding my own business, sitting in my apartment, and then someone said, like, oh, you should, like, get a job and get out more.
I'm not one to defend August frequently, but you had that prosthetic leg before he and I showed up at your apartment.
Let's put it this way. You know you love me. You know.
He looks around the table. It's like a brotherly thing. It's a brotherly thing. We
You
hug, I,
know
like, slap my back
I'm
3
the
times.
best thing that's ever happened to you.
Okay, remember Matilda? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like maybe second best.
And how did you meet Matilda?
Well, cheese and crackers.
Anyway, Moxie, as you were saying.
So we were hoping to pick your brains on any and all information that you think would be helpful, any ideas you have, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't want my city to be trampled by a crazy goddess spider, nor by a power-hungry Zaylen Pierce.
Well, now, surely the other gods would step in and help out.
The gods.
Yes. I mean, if you've got someone, as you said, trying to crash the party here in Tanverell, then...
Oh, well, I understand that, gods might be interested in the fact that there's going to be an invading god, but Yuri, I gotta ask you, do you think that the gods would interfere in any way if there was another extraplanar deity coming in to destroy this world?
Well, we, of course, those of us of Nagahe, we would want to maintain order and peace, and she makes a motion, to her tabard that has this dove with the wings, on it. It depends. It doesn't sound like this other entity. Do we know more about it? It doesn't sound like it is one who would work well with Nagahe or Katsina.
No, in my studies of the plains, we are talking about a spider goddess named Lolth. She's extraplanar, but she has been a deity figure in other worlds and other prime material places. But I don't think the gods would necessarily get involved, except for possibly having heroes, people who would step forward in their name to try to stop something like this happening.
And she smiles very warmly at you and says, well, I don't know that everyone at this table is a hero of that calling, but maybe there are a few. And if so, then surely we could send our blessings with you as you go to confront it. Why not take this evidence you have and just go to the authorities and have them stop Zaylen?
Let's bring that up with our former god, city god.
Logan Mitchell was also former
and
city
also
guard.
Logan, of the idea of bringing this up to the authorities. What about the authorities here in Iron Spire?
You cannot trust them, and it's hard to know if there are any you can trust, which ones. It's too much of a risk.
Zaylen Pierce is also very powerful. I would hesitate to say that anybody's going to have success getting him to back down legally. If anybody was going to be able to have him arrested or anything, it would have to come from the king, and I don't see him interceding.
You bring up a good point, though, the king and the royal guard versus the town guard. But again, we would have to convince the king first. I feel like the king isn't going to believe anything until this is all said and done, and we have irrefutable proof. And he looks at Logan and says, irrefutable means?
It means not refutatable.
Not futable, right.
Right,
Good.
yes.
Good.
Exactly.
But I think also the problem is when we talk about authorities, it's going to take them a while to figure out what they need to do. We don't have that kind of time. So
Yes, the bureaucracy would be very much a hindrance.
our plan right now is to go to the Haunted Isles, and that way we can stop them ourselves. Any help that we could get from the Temple of Nimgahe for our quest would certainly be nice, and any help we can get from the scientific community through Dr. Stonecipher yourself would certainly be helpful. Logan, you're probably going to be there, which would be good. You'll be our eyes and ears, literally, because we've got contact with you in the Haunted Isles.
Well, I've been doing this and
then he stops himself and then looks straight at August.
August nods.
Well, a little bit of inside job for a while now. So, me and Pierce, we're just like this.
And he holds his hands about 4 feet apart.
That's what I figured. It's probably
Yeah.
best that you are
It's a
not
safe
that
place
close
to
it.
be.
But at some point in time, you're gonna get shanghaied onto a ship, and we need you to tell us.
All right, I can do the inside. The gig is up, and we be going.
And for you, Mrs. Morningstar, I think the reason we have you here is you have access to knowledge that some of us don't. So if there's any knowledge that you can find out in the next few days to help us out, I think would be very helpful.
You also are known to, how do I put this politely? Have your finger on the pulse of the city, if you will. My mother might call you a bit of a gossip.
Verbal knowledge is an important part of one's repertoire of other things to know. Have we considered alternative methods of engagement and or persuasion?
And she looks over at Sable.
Been considered and taken into consideration.
I see. I suppose it's in a subcommittee of rules and regulations, and the way societies kind of are. They got to make up their mind with all these interventions and meetings and stuff.
There's a subclause for it.
I think it does beg an interesting question because I don't know much about Sapphire Society, but what is the Sapphire Society's plan for something like this to happen, or do they even know about it?
That's confidential information I can neither confirm or deny. However, a better question and a better route of information is, Dr. Cipher, how many prosthetics have you distributed out through the city?
Well, there's probably the 15 or so young people, and then another 10 or so to different worthy adults and people who needed it in one way or another. It was probably close to 30 if a ballpark figure hits my mind correctly.
So give or take a few odd numbers, let's just say, no reason, 33.
Okay.
What would, anybody in the room can answer this, what would in a ritual 33 be a significance for?
There's that long pause, and then Yuri, the high priestess, says, well, 33 are 2 halves of the shape that we use to describe the encircling of the world. You put those 2 together, they overlap, they become an 8, which for some folks is, and Dr. Stonetiver says, the sign of infinity.
Yeah.
So maybe there's power in that number, in that shape.
If there were 33 souls distilled into legs, arms, prosthetics of all kinds, whatever it is.
Also automatons.
And if there are 33 souls, but then there are 33 people who are carrying those legs, arms, whatever, then you have that full figure of 33 and 33 to make a complete.
Yes, you could do variations and have all the symbols laid on top of each other.
Right. Does that make sense?
A complete binding of the ritual, make it undoable, potentially, lasting for eternity?
Well, from the little bit of reading I've done on planes, it would create a lock. It could possibly keep the portal open.
Oh, make it permanent.
Yes, and then there'd be free transference back and forth between the worlds.
Well, I can tell you one thing. The other reason why I'm worried about this Lolth character, her domain is the Abyss, and opening a portal to the Abyss where demons can come and go willy-nilly, that could be very dangerous for this world.
It would give all of those, says Yuri, the high priestess, it would give all of those tormented souls and demons and devils a brand new, for lack of a better term, hunting grounds here. Nangahe, our radiant shield, she would not allow it. We would step up. We would bring forces to bear.
I'd rather you not have to, because I'd rather keep the gate closed in the first place.
Yes. I really would rather this place not be invaded by the Abyss. This is my world. This is where I keep all my stuff. So I would rather not it be invaded by abyssal forces. DM question. Dr. Stonecipher, Yuri, Logan Mitchell, and Mrs. Morningstar. Is that all we have here?
Rhapsody.
Oh my gosh, okay.
She just has been very quiet. She knew most of this already.
That's true. So I'll leave it up to you if you have any other ideas. There is a question to Rhapsody, and that's, have you secured a way for us to get there, and what our plan is from there?
Well, it seems to me that my airship's been absconded and redirected by a certain young lady, and she glances over at Moxie.
It's not. You were already going there. If anything,
Yeah.
I'm just hitching a ride.
You and all of your friends.
You say as if you don't have a room. It's a freaking airship.
I'm sorry, what? I thought we were just taking a boat.
Well,
Why would we take a boat? It would take days to get out there.
plus all the bumping and waving and rocking and how uncivilized, Dr. Stone.
So we're going up in the air.
Yes.
Have you ever been in an airship?
Why would I ever be in an airship?
Because it's fun.
Well, you say that. No,
You'll be fine. We'll get you a rope. But let me ask you this, Rhapsody, while I'm thinking about it. Have you gotten any information from Marisol other than, it's weird out here?
She leans in a little closer to you. No, just the vivid dream to come.
If anything, enough is already happening in that area to alert entities. I will say this, it actually makes a lot of sense because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Mrs. Morningstar, I think that the Haunted Isles are a place where the division between planes is a little thinner than it is in other places.
Yes, there's haunted for a
Yes,
reason.
the haunted
Yeah.
part. So if Lolth is standing there on the other side of the door waiting for Pierce to open it, maybe it's putting bad juju out into the water and it alerted the sirens.
You think about the fact that if they're doing a ritual, they're not just going to go some random area. They've got to build altars, they've got to build, so there's probably...
Or use existing structures. Like they've already repurposed What's-Her-Face's temple for a Veranex site. Was it Katsina?
So have we heard of, is there any history of the Haunted Isles being a place where there used to be rituals of any kind?
Everybody looks at Mrs. Morningstar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, well, a lot of that was lost, but maybe.
She looks over at Yuri, at the High Priestess of Nagahe, and she says, yes, undoubtedly, there's a very famous temple ruin that's there. Most of it's kept privileged information so that people aren't pulled there, treasure hunters and those type of things. It becomes a problem on lots of different levels. And then she looks back at Mildred and says, it could have to do with the first settlements. And then Mrs. Morningstar is like,
Well, of course it does. Yes. So the folks that we're no longer in contact across the sea, that's the Praetopian Empire, right?
Okay.
When those people first came over, mostly humans and elves, they had to carve out a spot, and there was a part of the land, this is some 300 years ago, they had to carve out a spot in the land, and it was called the Forbidden Bay, and they drove back the indigenous tribes of humans and gnolls and orcs and indigenous elves that were here until they could gather it. And those native folks that were there, it was their birthright to guard that location against all settlement. They didn't live there either. And finally, after wave, they acquiesced for these newcomers just to be destroyed. But instead, that's when the great wealth came to the colonists instead, and it began to expand. They came onto the mainland. They built Iron Spire. Other colonies are being built in the south.
and then she pauses and looks at Yuri, and they share a quick moment of silent communication and then nod, and Mildred says,
when the outage of magic, when that happened, that was at the same time that the Forbidden Bay shattered. There was some type of enormous, horrific devastation. And the Haunted Isles used to be one large landmass out there. And now they're just the archipelago that's out there.
So the Haunted Isles used to be much larger, and then when magic
It sounds like the explosion of the Haunted Isles is what caused the magic outage. They were the same event.
All right, that happened
100 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is right around the time that Rhapsody was settling here.
So who was the temple to originally?
and they share a look, and Yuri says, we believe it was a temple to Varnax. And you, Dr. Stone, would know that Varnax is not one of the well-known deities of Tanvarel.
So we get the idea that Varnax is the god of the colonizers kind of a thing, one they brought with them.
Could have been, yeah. Could very well have been.
And if she was blamed for the outage of the magic, they would have outlawed her followers and eventually they just die away.
It does explain why she would sympathize with the dwarves' plight, because then, when magic gets turned back on, the dwarves kind of have to suffer the same fate that she would have suffered when the magic went out.
All right. And the dwarves would have known about the Varnex temple. Again, I'm thinking more than likely the dwarves and Zaylen Pierce have been visiting the Haunted Isles quite often to set up whatever it is they need to set up, just like they had done underneath the city. So that might be why Marisol has been noticing a lot more traffic.
Well, my question is, why is Marisol here? Is it big enough that she could feel it from so far away? Because, Rhapsody wouldn't say this, but she's been looking for that mermaid for 60 years, 100 years almost, more than 100 years.
I thought it was just 60 years.
No, because I'm 60 years old, and Rhapsody settled here after she gave up looking for Marisol 100 years ago. The sirens, I guess they're immortal, or at least very long-lived.
That means that she had not wanted to get in contact with you, Rhapsody, and now she feels this is a matter of life and death.
That would seem to make sense.
End of the world type stuff, if you will.
Right.
Hold your loved ones close, or reach back out to them.
This is the only person I know who maybe could possibly help, because she's a bad mamma jam and she's here to kick Heine. But I'm not gonna let you kick Heine. You're too old.
Yes, but I may be the only one that knows the way to Secularis.
I thought you told me that there wasn't nothing else in this dream you had. You're holding out on me, woman.
It's for your own good. It's dangerous out there.
I'm the one trying to save the world.
Thus this meeting. I can see that now.
So tell us about the Secularis.
Secularis is a rumored pirate enclave that continues to eke out a living at the edge of the Haunted Isles.
Ah, some old compatriots.
It was a long time ago, but maybe.
I've heard stories. There was a girl or two before you found Marisol. Anyway, so the pirates are there. Do we think the pirates are on Zaylen's side or our side? I could definitely understand the pirates being on Zaylen's side because he's got a lot of gold. He could be bribing
They could
them.
be on no one's side. They could also be dead.
If nothing else, I feel like they could flee if they thought something bad was happening or something.
Would there be a way to find out if Secularis is even still there? Because how long has it been since you've been there?
As Moxie said, I haven't been a pirate for 100 years.
So we don't even know if this place is empty or abandoned for 80 years now.
Rhapsody, dust off your hat. It sounds like you get another seafaring adventure.
No, I'm just gonna go find Marisol.
You gotta help us invade the pirate camp.
Well, hopefully that's a place where we can get a base.
You're not wrong. If nothing else, they may have left some infrastructure behind that we could utilize. Do you have any idea where the chorus is?
There is safety in numbers. It's very possible that the chorus, she glances over at the others, the group of mermaids, the community of mermaids, they could be very close to Secularis. Maybe they even trade with the pirates or something.
I'm just wondering if they could, they're much more sensitive to magic than we are. They may be able to point to the part of the Haunted Isles where we should begin our investigation. They don't need to be in danger, but they can point the general direction.
So we have a place to go.
Maybe.
We're gonna travel to Secularis. Well, it's gonna be there. Whether or not there's gonna be any people there, we don't know.
Well, it may have been burned to the ground,
But even a burned to the ground place is still usually a place where you can disembark.
There's a fire pit.
Yeah, well,
A port of call, if you will.
Yeah, it's like instead of just stopping in the middle, I don't know. I don't even know what's on the Haunted. Is it jungle? Is it forest? Is it just a big desert of?
You have to excuse him. He's a bit of a land boy. He's lived it landlocked all his life.
I know. I've lived on the ocean, or lived by the ocean, or near the ocean, really close to the ocean, but not actually in the ocean. I've not gone anywhere. Yes, I am a landlocked boy, and I stay on the ground. I don't know why y'all trying to get me up in the air.
Live a little.
But last I heard, not much survived the explosion, and it tends to be a bunch of rocks, some scraggly trees, maybe a squirrel. The rumors that we hear as children, it's either squirrels, like little inconsequential creatures, or it's like krakens, like monsters. So
And Yuri says, and the undead.
Oh yeah, lots of them. Lots of ghosts.
It's called Haunted Isles.
It's the haunted
yeah.
isles. It's not the picnic isles.
That is why I will carry my symbol of Ningahe.
So you guys are gonna take an airship along the coast of the peninsula and then launch off from Stormhaven right there on the coast and out to the Isles?
I look at Rhapsody.
Nods like, yeah.
we were just trying to carpool with Rhapsody here.
What was the name of the town?
Stormhaven.
Stormhaven.
Go up the peninsula and launch out across towards the Haunted Isles from Stormhaven. And this sounds like it's just up the ways a bit. So what do the locals know about Stormhaven?
For brevity and stealing a little bit, if you think about the Iron Isles from Game of Thrones, Stormhaven has a very similar culture, plus lumber. They are a shipbuilding city that is there. If Iron Spire is steam and clockwork, and if Calamera is education and knowledge, Stormhaven is shipyards and at one point Navy-esque.
So hypothetically, if a person's never seen Game of Thrones,
It's a smelly dump.
are we talking Viking vibes?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
We do have a plan.
So far, that plan is just how to get there.
Well, and where to go once we get there.
But how do we stop the gate from opening? My only idea for that is to just take out Zaylan Pierce.
If that's true, but that won't solve your problem long term, presumably.
I mean, he did win over the rest of the dwarves. He got them all over to his side with his spider cult.
Yeah, which means that this Lolth would continue to probably reach out to find another mind or soul
Right.
to recruit. If they're using a temple location that's already been sanctified, even if for another purpose, if it is a temple of Varanex, which seems to share a domain, so to speak, with this Lolth, a spider queen and a spider queen in a different realm, then the way to do that would be to repurpose the temple, sanctify it, or maybe there's some other way to strengthen the veil that's there.
We gotta take the throne room, if you will.
Yes.
What if, okay, Yuri, could you and your sisters write us up maybe a high-level scroll that would cast Sanctify to repurpose the temple for Ningahe, closing it off to any other deity?
Could we make a church out there? Is that what you're saying?
No, I like what you're saying. It's even possible. And then Ms. Morningstar pops in.
Didn't you say that down below there was all like some type of lightning contraption that was like opening a gate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're sucking souls out of people. They made the souls into lightning, and then the lightning went zap zap on these like tall column things, and then there was a little gate, and it was pretty spooky. It was very Tesla coil themed.
It could be the destruction of those, plus a blessing, could shut it down.
Well, the good news is I did it, well, August mostly, smashed up that thing downstairs.
Yes.
All right. Well, so if you could, again, put together some kind of sanctifying spell, because I know we clerics can do that, but maybe at a higher level, something that maybe I might not even be able to reach just yet to be able to cast this.
Maybe you and I could work together.
Maybe it could be a device of some type that even those who haven't been blessed or don't have arcane ability could somehow activate.
Like a button?
Well, yes, I suppose buttons would make things easy. Just in case.
Like a telephone pole, radio tower.
Yes.
We set it up, and then it just like blasts out Ningahe, Ningahe, Ningahe.
Yes.
And then Lolth is like, oh, can't go there. Ningahe's got that place on lock.
Like a scroll, but something that anyone could use, even, your friend August.
So I think if we could do, maybe do both.
Have a backup plan.
Yes, we can see what we can do.
All right. Well, we have
Few days.
8 days.
And I trust everybody here understands the importance of secrecy, and I'll look every one of them in the
He
eye.
kind of pushes his duster back to show off his rapier.
Yeah. And then
Logan Mitchell opens his mouth
Threatening
to
a
say,
bunch of old ladies and a one-legged man.
yeah.
Logan Mitchell opens his mouth. You can tell he's going to say something snarky, and then he sees the look on your face, and he's just like, nods.
Keep eye contact with him. He's at the end of the roster. And do not find yourself alone with Zaylan Pierce.
What's that?
We talked about this. You're about to get kidnapped.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if I was close to him, then I could kind of,
He has the ability to read minds.
Yeah.
You what?
Yours is farthest from the most...
Secure location.
But didn't we give him something? Didn't he have something?
No, he just has
You
the
talked
sending
about
stones.
maybe giving him something.
Oh, man. I thought we gave him something.
Here, I thought all this time he just knew I liked chicken sandwiches. Huh.
He's not paying attention to what you say. He's hearing your thoughts.
But here's the thing also.
How often are you thinking about chicken sandwiches?
That's a tasty thing. See, you get some meat. You ought to sell these here.
Okay, so at some point, yes, you are going to be kidnapped or encouraged to go to the Haunted Isles.
Okay.
I personally think they're probably gonna do you a good bonking.
But they might not have to. He's an employee. They could just simply say, you're coming with us.
What if they can remote control your leg?
That's ridiculous.
He says completely, like with his look down at his leg, like, oh crap.
Nervously.
Yeah.
So what I'd say is just be ready. And if someone says, rather than getting a bonking, because I don't want you to get hurt, if someone says, hey, we're going to the haunted house, just say, okay. Just like you would if you were being employed to go
And think very hard about those chicken sandwiches
Think
instead.
so hard about chicken sandwiches.
Chicken sandwiches. Got
And
it.
then just give August here a little beep beep. You don't even have to say anything. Just give him a little beep beep and we'll know what's happening, and then think really hard about chicken sandwiches again.
All right. That's good. I like it.
For the rest of you, again, Yuri's going to help talk to the sisters about putting this thing together. And Mrs. Morningstar, if you find out any more information, please let us know.
Research is my favorite thing.
Logan, you're going to just keep doing what you're doing. Keep thinking
You're
about
gonna
chicken
get
sandwiches.
kidnapped, buddy.
Keep thinking about chicken sandwiches. And Dr. Stone Cipher, if there is any way you could get us a list of the children that you have,
Prostheticized.
you have given prosthetics to.
Yes.
And also,
Like, let us know if Zaylin Pierce asks you to gather them all together.
right. And I don't think you're gonna be asked to do any more prosthetics.
Elias.
At least for him. I mean, obviously that's your job, so there will be normal prosthetics, but
Surely there's some way to save these trapped spirits, though. Maybe we could find some way to unlock them from the... I'm going to focus on that.
Yeah, if you could science it up, that would be great.
freeing the spirits
Yes.
from the
Yes.
prosthetics. All right, I think we all got a plan. Now, do we have dessert?
That was what was in the oven.
Oh, well,
You can have it, but it's burnt.
no. I think that's fine. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
We need to have our post-party specific debrief.
Yes.
August will stand up, hold up a glass. Men plan, and the gods laugh.
But we still drink.
And Logan holds up his glass.
I like this one. He's really cute.
A blessing upon us all.
To surviving afterwards.
To a lack of a spider infestation.
To whatever the hell's going to happen to us up in the air.
We'll get you a parachute.
Yuri, if you could provide me with a ring of feather fall.
Huh, I see. Have faith.
And then Guy will see.
Pray to your God and hope for the best.
And so this meeting comes to a close and the various guests leave. Rhapsody does give Moxie a look of like, do I stay or do I go?
I do have a question for her before she goes. Hey, do you got enough seashells to make necklaces for everybody? I want to be ready in case something dangerous happens and we need to breathe underwater.
Everybody?
Well, like everybody like me and August and Sable and Dr. Stone.
Okay. Do you know the story of the flying horse that thinks it's a griffin and he holds the little feather so that he can fly?
Are you talking about Dumby the Pegasus?
Yes, Dumby the Pegasus.
But he has wings, he can fly, he's a Pegasus, you just said that.
Dumby the horse.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, so
yeah.
Dumby the horse has
Yeah.
a feather,
Yes,
thinks he can fly.
Dumby. So, I love you, Mox, but you seem to have in your head the idea that the seashells will do something special.
They're not water-breathing necklaces?
I can't make a water-breathing necklace in one day.
You made it seem like these were water-breathing necklaces. You said, here, you need to have this before we go, as if it was very important.
I think this is just like the time that I made that little skirt for you, and you thought that it was the magical
Are you
dancing
telling
skirt.
me that I can breathe underwater?
No,
Because Dumby could fly. The feather just gave him the confidence to pursue it.
this is more about the feather. I'm saying you can certainly try to breathe underwater with this necklace, but it is not an underwater breathing necklace.
But don't worry about it. I've got a water walk spell that we could do.
I'm just saying, why not make these underwater breathing necklaces?
But it might be nice for your friends to have one too.
But
I'll see.
we might not need to go underwater. So
No, we don't. We might not, but like, I don't think spiders can swim.
There you go. So you say that about the necklace. I'll make as many as I can.
Sure.
For your friends.
Will be matching trinkets
Yes.
that are just trinkets.
Yes.
Good night, Rhapsody.
Love you too. She goes upstairs, and our 4 heroes, Dr. Stone, August E. Graymore, Moxlara, and Sable, come back around the table to discuss what the next plan is.
Red Dirt D&D Curse of the Clockwork City is Brooke Bullock as our Dungeon Master, Kiri Hester as Moxie, Connor Shenold as Sable, Johnny Payne as August E. Graymore, and I'm Michael Cross as Dr. Elias Stone. Our theme music comes from Ovani Sound. Our sound effects and additional music courtesy of Jeffrey McBride, Monument Studios, Describe.com, and TabletopAudio.com. Dice for the Red Dirt D&D cast provided by ST Way Gaming. You can find us at reddirtdnd.com. If you are enjoying Red Dirt D&D, make sure to subscribe, rate us, and leave a comment. Also, tell your friends about Red Dirt D&D. You can also support the show at patreon.com/reddirtdnd at whatever giving level works best for you. Join us next time as we discover more secrets in the Clockwork City.
Want more laughs? Our Patreon outtakes are available starting at the $5 tier, packed with bloopers and off-mic chaos. Join us and hear what happened in the studio before the edits. Go to patreon.com/reddirtdnd right now. Well, not like if you're currently driving, drive first, safely arrive, park, and then go to patreon.com/reddirtdnd.
Keep up to date with the coolest geek shenanigans in Oklahoma when you listen to the Okie Geek podcast. Stay in the know about upcoming conventions, comic books, and the nerdiest happenings in the Panhandle State. That way you don't miss out on things like live Mario Kart, Wizard comics, or board game conventions. Search for Okie Geek on the NPR app or wherever you get podcasts.